What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another GeekyCast video. And my name is Brett, as always, accompanied by my good buddy and podcast friend as well, Neo.
What's up, guys?
I kind of had to think about what I was saying right there. I didn't know I was going to say podcast buddy. So essentially, we're going over my other friend Alex from Cosmic Circus. He actually did this Discord Q&A, and it was June part 1. So essentially, we're going to go over each one of these. They're going to be tied into different videos. There might be a couple sections into one, but for the most part, I want to keep it small, and each segment we'll do a talk about. So it'll be a breakdown.
Let's get into it.
So first off, so what happens is he gets asked questions from their Cosmic Circus Discord, and essentially then he answers it, the best of his ability with all the information he's been given and whatnot, kind of like, giving us theories, even though they're usually right,
Mm-hmm.
So this first one the title is Avengers, Secret Wars, and Marvel Studios Multiversal Saga.
Mm-hmm.
This is from Costa. Hi, Alex. How are you? I love you. Do you think Secret Wars will become 2 films and therefore 3 Avengers film in this saga? And Alex goes on to say, hi, love you too. I suspect that Secret Wars may be heading into a 2-parter territory for a number of reasons. The main reason is that there are too many stories happening plot-wise that really can't be condensed into the average 2-hour runtime. One thing I even heard through the grapevine was the idea of having more than one central antagonist. So yes, I think the films will be split. So that's the first part of the topic. Antagonist is villain, right? I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah.
Okay, so antagonist and
protagonist.
There you go. I forgot.
No
So
problem.
I mean, that kind of makes sense because, like he said, 2-hour runtime. I feel like we always kind of thought Secret Wars was going to be like a 2-parter or a 3-parter. I feel like that was like a no-brainer for the most part.
Yeah.
And then for things like, main villains, we were told multiple times that there's possibly going to be different Kangs, all casted by different actors, and along with a past villain.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm wondering, it being Secret Wars, I mean, obviously most people have read the older Secret Wars and the newer Secret Wars, but in the older Secret Wars, they take villains like, like Ultron, they bring Kang the Conqueror in there, they bring like the Wrecking Crew, there's Venom in there, there's the Beyonder, there's Molecule Man, there's so many different characters, there's a lot of Spider-Man villains and whatnot. I think, honestly, they'll probably do the whole, different Kang variants all being casted as different actors, which I think would be the best bet, because then it would give each Kang like an actual personality, unlike just being a different dress for the same actor,
I do think it is pretty interesting. So this is going to be, obviously we have Avengers 5, right? Which is going to be Kang Dynasty still, I'm pretty sure, right?
So I've been hearing Eternity Wars, but I mean,
interesting.
I don't know. I mean, either or,
That would make sense, because I guess especially if, like what Alex is saying here, they're going to have more than one central antagonist. Maybe it would make sense to have another antagonist other than Kang in 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they do Avengers 5, and then they do Secret Wars, and then there would be a part 2 to that Secret Wars. So there'd be 3 Avengers movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes sense, dude. I think it's just too much to go have a 2.5-hour movie, even a 3-hour movie, because I mean it's just not enough time.
Yeah, very true.
It's just not enough time, I don't think.
I also think though that I just have a feeling, because I feel like it's been constantly teased and constantly changed, but I feel like it's gonna be Avengers versus X-Men, because it's an Avengers title. Obviously that's the last incursion, which I think we're gonna have. I almost feel like that could be Avengers 5. But I don't know. I feel like Avengers 5 should almost be like time runs out, unless they, obviously Doctor Strange 3 is time runs out, and then you're gonna have, whatever, and then I feel like you should have Secret Wars Part 1, and then I feel like you should have Avengers versus X-Men as Part 2, and then have them sent to Battleworld, and then Avengers Part 3 is like Toby, Hugh, and all them saving the older, the MCU characters, kind of like
that would be
did originally, and old villain. I'm trying to think, like, I think the most sense, I mean, I know it sounds weird, but I also, how the whole Eternals 2 thing got canceled. What if the Eternity Wars is more of like Erishim coming back, and everybody has to, because they said they want it more grounded. Well, if Erishim's coming to Earth and gonna judge it, I mean, That could be a possibility.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, because
where do you think Mephisto would play in those?
So Alex actually talks later on into this about a possible Council of the Red, which is like Mephisto councils. I mean, what if Mephisto got all power and kind of essentially did Infinity Gauntlet, but with Mephisto? Like, I mean, he's obviously in Infinity Gauntlet, but like take away Thanos and like have Mephisto be the big bad and kind of change it up. Obviously, no death, no nothing like that, but have it kind of like the devil's gotten out of, hell and essentially is trying to take over that universe or whatever,
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. I think Kang is an interesting villain, but I think having him undermined by a bigger, better threat has always been more appealing to me. Whether it's Doom, Mephisto, Beyonder, whomever. I always thought that was cool.
Well, it definitely makes more sense too because the fact that Kang has been diminished in the movies. So it's almost like, what if Kang is the minion to a bigger bad?
Exactly. Exactly.
Right? And then the next one is what is the probable name for Avengers 5? So this is from Bird Sister, and Alex goes on to say, what I can say is that I'm hearing Avengers 5 will be a multiversal film with a particularly grounded storyline involving multiversal elements. So I'm assuming more like No Way Home.
Okay.
In all likelihood, the safest route would be to split Avengers Secret War into 2 parts, like I said. However, I will take the opportunity to mention a rumor about a possible adaptation of elements from Avengers Assemble, Avengers Forever, which is a storyline involving a multiversal Council of Mephisto variants known as the Council of Red, multiversal Masters of Evil, and an Avengers team up to save the day before all of existence is destroyed. I might have to look into that storyline given Mephisto's coming introduction into the MCU, but it might be an interesting story to adapt heading into Avengers Secret Wars.
Interesting.
I feel like that's kind of what we just talked about, so I'm gonna go to the next one, but you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, it makes sense on that. This next one is from someone named Vin. Vin said, what comic would you recommend to anyone interested in the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? And Alex goes on to say pretty much the basics. He says, go on with Secret Wars, which I'm assuming he's alluding to Hickman's 2015, because he also mentions Time Runs Out, Avengers Assemble, Avengers Forever, Beyond Secret Wars for the soft reboot, and Eternals Volume 3. So pretty much most things leading up to the Avengers, or to the Secret Wars, which is, obviously different universes colliding, Doctor Strange with the Black Priests, the Black Swans, Doctor Doom, the Molecule Men, all that kind of stuff, the Illuminati formation, stuff like that. So, I mean, I definitely could see them bringing the Illuminati into... That would be a great movie if they did like an Illuminati, and obviously people don't want to recast T'Challa. Use the actor who played T'Chaka in Black Panther 1, the one who killed Killmonger's dad, and just say you bring back a younger T'Chaka.
He'd be great.
Yeah, because instead of T'Challa, T'Chaka's fine. It's another Black Panther. People complain about Shuri. Take out Shuri, put in her father.
Yeah, they really need to do that, and then I do want to see some more Illuminati. The thing I liked about Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is that we're going over into other universes as opposed to bringing him to 616. Exactly. So I think that'd be really cool if they explore more of those little multiverses,
Yep. I'm going to skip this next one because it really doesn't have anything to do with our topic. It's more of just like Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Hawkeye, Echo, any plans, and Alex says not till after. This one's actually tied into what we were just talking about. Shoals such and such. Hi Alex, welcome back. Have you heard any names in the mix frontrunners in Avengers 5 director? Any idea what size role Loki and Sylvie may have in Avengers 5 and Secret Wars? Alex goes on to say, hi, recent reportings indicate Sean Levy is in the mix for the potential directors for Avengers 5, which I feel like we all knew. Deadpool 3 is going to be something special, let's be real, and with him coming on, obviously you're going to incorporate Ryan Reynolds, you're probably going to incorporate Hugh Jackman, who will also tie in with Secret Wars. You're going to tie in a lot of characters and a lot of people who actually read the comic books and actually enjoy the characters, at least in my 2 cents,
Right. I think he probably hasn't given like a hard confirmation as to whether or not he's going to do Avengers 5.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure like Marvel feels pretty confident with Deadpool and Wolverine. I think it's likely, dude. Honestly, I think especially if this movie's a smash hit, I think he would be a layup. it would make the most sense.
Definitely would make a lot of sense, and definitely would be above, because like, okay, so in Infinity War they had the Russos, but then they also brought in like Gunn and all those other all the other directors to help talk about their characters. So hear me out. Bring in Sean Levy, bring in Sam Raimi to help with the Spider-Man stuff.
That'd be sick.
Bring in Webb to help, with Anders stuff. I can't remember who directed Logan, but bring in that director. Bring in a
Mangold.
lot of... Okay, there you go. And then bring in like a lot of Feige for his X-Men, obviously. And then bring in... I mean, shoot, you could even bring in the Russos just to talk a little bit about how they think they would establish bringing back old man Steve Rogers, bringing Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man back, bringing Thor into the mix, and then, hey, bring in Zack Snyder and have him do some cinematography.
Yeah, it's one of these movies. I mean, nothing has really been done on this scale ever in cinema. So they're really playing with like a really crazy concept of bringing in all these different characters that we've known and been introduced to for decades now. So is it enough for Sean to just do this on his own? I don't know. He might need Sam Raimi. He might need some of these guys at least to give some input, at the very minimum.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge movie, dude. Especially if it's going to be 2 movies as well.
Yeah.
So, and this isn't even for Secret Wars. This is just Avengers 5. So, if he's doing Avengers 5, then he probably wouldn't be doing the subsequent 2 potential Secret Wars movies.
I mean, who knows? But yeah, I mean, I could see Feige directing it. Like, like I'd be like, hey, let him do it. It's his final goodbye, and he's going to leave anyways.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. And then, so to add on to that 2-part, he also said, this part I remember Alex saying this, but he's kind of holding back, which I'll add on to this. He said, Loki and Sylvie are certainly going to play a role in the upcoming Avengers films. That's an idea that's definitely going to come to fruition. As for how big their roles might be, it wouldn't be wise for me to say how big their roles are, since these things always change and vary in pre-production, production, and in post-production. Mm-hmm. So originally, Alex actually went on to say that Sylvie's going to be gathering a multiversal Avengers group. So with that being said, she would essentially be the Watcher. I think that would be an awesome thing and an awesome way for her to essentially almost say, like, I'm sorry for how she messed up Kang in Loki season 1 to Loki season 2. How she messed up the whole entire multiverse, broke the crack into it, and began to just destroy everything.
Yeah, I think that's a good role for her. I think she will for sure come back. I just don't. I don't know how big they'll be. I mean, it's just such a big movie with so many big characters that are going to be in there. I don't see how Loki and Sylvie would have huge roles.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I think they'll have important roles.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like honestly, I feel like there'll be a smaller role. I don't feel like there'll be anything huge. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's more of kind of like they're gonna be like kind of like it's almost like, oh, here's Loki. Hey guys, this is what's going on. This is what happened. Here's the recap. That's it. Like, I don't think there'll be any more than just the recap.
Yeah, I don't see how he's gonna star in the movie. Like, Loki's gonna be one of the main. I mean, he might be a main guy. I mean, I don't know. I think it's
smart. No, you're good. If they were smart, they'd kill him, because he's powering and holding the multiverse up, right?
Yeah.
So imagine Beyonder Kang killing him, and then like the world crashing and everything goes white and they end up in the void because everything gets purged.
That'd be incredible.
Like, it would just be like an easy, like, okay, it's done.
Exactly.
And then the last one for this segment, for this video, essentially is, with the rumor of Marvel finally recasting Kangs, could we see a combination of World War Hulk and Avengers Forever elements? Using both grounded and multiversal elements in Avengers 5, what do you expect to be on the slate projects-wise for the rest of Phase 5 and 6, and maybe possible Phase 7 to finish up the saga, and Secret Wars split into 2 movies? That was a really long question. Mm-hmm. Alex goes on to say, first question, which essentially is asking about the World War Hulk and the Avengers Forever. My personal opinion, combining both of these stories together would be an awful, very bad idea. A movie that's coming out later will be doing something similar to what you're suggesting, and it sounds like a terrible mess already.
Wow.
I wonder what that could be.
Wow.
I'm wondering if that's time runs out Doctor Strange. I'm wondering if they're trying to do like multiple things at a time to tie it all up, you know?
Yeah, now you see, that's a character I do see playing a massive role in Secret Wars and Avengers 5. And you might be right, dude.
Yeah, he needs to.
I feel like they're going to pump out Doctor Strange 3 and they're going to try to make it crazy.
Yeah, and then at the end of this, he says, my expectations for the slate are definitely Wonder Man, which we know is the spotlight, so it doesn't really matter. Spider-Man 4, which I feel like is going to be tying in the multiverse with the Grounded. Shang-Chi 2, which is the Wreckage of Time, which will literally be the multiverse learning about the bangles and all that stuff. Or not the bangles, I'm sorry, the rings. Vision, which is tying in the WandaVision stuff. Blade, which is obviously the Midnight Suns, all the dark entity side, the witchcraft, all that stuff. And the Young Avengers / Champions. I feel like that might be the sloppy movie. Event, because I feel like they're doing too much with. I feel like there's going to be too much going on with that.
I don't even know why Young Avengers is still on the slate, to be honest.
Yeah, it's honestly probably just more of a tie-in to get Wanda back. If I'm being honest, it's probably Wiccan, and he's probably going to save Wanda. That's pretty much all I can think of, unless they do Doctor Doom and they have like Doctor Doom and Latveria with Wanda, and that's the way they introduce Doctor Doom. I mean, what else are you going to do really?
Yeah, oh man, that's gonna be a hard sell, dude. I hope they can put it together, but yeah, I can see that being the messy movie for sure. Because it sounds like they're just pumping it out just to do so.
Yeah.
Like honestly, it probably was gonna be a show, and then they're just making it a movie.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't seem like they know what they're doing right there. They feel like they're kind of just combining it all just so they don't, they have something.
I wouldn't be surprised if they pull it, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we'll know in D23.
Yep, that's true.
With that being said, guys, that is part 1. We hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure you stay tuned for the next one, as we're going to be going over World War Hulk, Brave New World, and a couple more ideas.
See you guys.